at least theoretically. Let's see if the stream actually comes up and there is sound. I thought I saw it for a moment. I'm going to have to refresh the page. And there we go. All right, we have sound and Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Jefferson DeLeone with us.
Hey, Jeff.
Hello, Tom.
And we will have a pre-recorded interview later in the show with Spaff. So, welcome to episode 834 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, July 11th, 2026. Luke, what is the title of this week's episode?
Well, in order to tell you that, we need to get into catch-up time. So why don't you just play the intro for that?
Okay.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So what you been up to?
Well, just to give a quick notice for those who didn't hear last week's episode, we saved my catch-up time for the end of the show because I had to tell a story that I knew would take a long time, and told it, I think it was about, 54 minutes it took to get through that whole thing?
Just your segment wasn't nearly that long, but it was probably about 20 or 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, yeah, so... yeah, the incredibly long story short version of it is a woman who's not my regular supervisor, only on the days when my main supervisor has their 2 days off. This woman, who I am calling Mascara, has a history of basically blowing up at people and causing drama over essentially nothing. Like she picks a different person each week and just kind of goes after them. And a machine we were working on broke down. We were waiting for the machine, me and the or so employees just standing around, not doing anything, waiting for a machine to be fixed. And I, out of boredom, started drawing, and she came and got in my face and yelled at me for drawing, drawing cartoons or whatever. And that made me so angry that I left. And I did come back later, and that led to other stuff happening, which led to me having to go in for an investigative inquiry meeting, not over the drawing specifically, but because of the fact that I left the building, because that was me leaving and clocking out and not telling anyone and not filling out a form and not getting permission, yada yada. Like, that was the big no-no. So anyway, the day after last week's FuMPCast was the day that I needed to go in for this investigative inquiry, which in this meeting was her, Mascara, the woman who started all this, myself, and a representative from the union there with me. So now I had been through one of these before, and it was basically a bunch of things where, because the first one was about me being late, like, I was 72 seconds past I was supposed to be here, and blah blah blah, on a few occasions, and I was blindsided with it. I had no idea that they were going to bring me in over these few handfuls of days I was ever so slightly late. It had no effect on anything else at the plant. This person was that specific person was being just nitpicky and a jerk basically. So basically when I went through that one, I knew that it was basically going to be a series of kind of question and answer where the question was typed out on a thing, and this is, let's see, pick a different page. This one, like here, it's typed up question, and then I have written down my answer, and each of the three of us had one of these, so that whenever I said my answer, all three of us were writing it down. Me, Mascara, and the union rep. And the majority of these questions are cut and pasted from some, supervisory guidebook on how to do these meetings or whatever. So they're all, written by whoever, writes the stuff for the post office, the government, whatever. But on this particular day, for a couple of parts, Mascara wrote things, like typed in things in her own words. And rather than recount the whole thing, I'm just going to share to you the 2 parts that she wrote in her own words in this document. So, am I set up to share screen?
Try. I may have to grant you permission, but go ahead and try.
Yeah, it says sharing is not turned on. So, for those of you listening this in audio only, I will read out loud what it says. And for those of you looking at the visual, the first image has a black bar on it. That's where she put her actual name. So where the black bar is, I'll just say Mascara. But, another thing that should be mentioned is the form to fill out when you're trying to get time off, or I'm going home sick or whatever. Like, that form is called a 3971. So 3971 is the name of that form. That's a thing. So, yeah. And the parts of the conveyor belt that we're each standing at waiting to do stuff are referred to as legs. So there's 8 legs on the machine: leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, etc., etc. So, yeah, that's about. Those are the parts that you need to know are actual words that have to do with this job. So, okay, let me try this again. Whoops. Oh wait, send request. Okay, I
was going to say, because I don't see a setting that will change it. So yeah, okay, you should be good now. I granted it.
All right, so here we go. I gotta take a deep breath because one of these is a very long run-on sentence. So here we go.
Oops,
on Monday, June 1st,
hang on. I want to pin you so that it stays on you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. On Monday, June 1st, 2026, you were working on the letter trays. Leg number 2, your supervisor, Mascara, gave you instructions to help leg number 1 and to stop droning pictures. You look and when to help about 3 minutes. Supervisor see you doing the droning again. Why did you not follow your supervisor's instructions? You left your work assignment and left the building without giving 3971 or informed at anyone.
Awesome! You were droning at work.
Did you bring the droning with you? Can you hold it up to the camera?
So, well, let me again, for those who are audio only, let me read that again and include various punctuation and capitalizations. On Monday, June 01/2026. On Monday, June 1, 2026, period. Capital Y. You were working on the letter trays, period. Capital L. Leg number 2, capital Y. Your, capital S, supervisor, and then Mascara, gave you instructions to help leg number 1 and to stop, capital D, droning pictures. You look and went to help about 3 minutes. Supervisor see you doing the droning again. Why did you not follow your supervisor's instructions? ? No periods anywhere in there. Or commas. Then, lowercase y, you left your work assignment and left the building without giving 3971 or informed at anyone, period.
Yeah, Luke, why didn't you inform at anyone? You have to inform at people when you go droning.
Yes.
You have to get your prepositions correct, at least.
Yes. So that was the part of near the beginning where she was describing her version of events. My version of events is basically the thing I read you last week that was, handwritten. Janice kindly ran that through a handwriting analyzer thingy, and then I was able to clean it up in, Google Drive and make a typed version. So I had a 2-page typed version in great detail of what happened that day.
Probably with proper grammar and punctuation and spelling and whatnot, too.
Yes. Okay. So... Here comes, okay, and like I said, all these other things were copy and pasted from a thing. She got to one, and I have a theory about this, but it's obvious that she wrote this, at least the majority of it. So here we go with the second thing I'm about to show you. What are you required to do when given a direct order from your supervisor, not droning cartons on the working floor doing your job hours?
We're not seeing what you're sharing. I'm only seeing you if you're trying to share a graphic or something.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me... Damn it. That was the big reveal, and it fucked up. Oh, there it is. Okay. One more time. What are you required to do when given a direct order from your supervisor not droning cartons on the working floor doing your job hours?
Droning cartons. Is that what we're going with?
Yes, the title of this episode is Droning Cartons. Now, people would say, like, I mentioned this to Carrie the other day. She's like, "Wait a minute, that's not fair. Isn't your title supposed to be 2 words picked from a random word generator that you have no control over?" I did not control getting the words "droning cartons" put in my face this week. I didn't pick that. That came from the world. So that's why the title this week is Droning Cartons. So
Didn't you used to work for the Carton Network?
Yes, he used to drone for the Carton Network all the time.
On the working floor, no less.
So yeah, I have to. Where is the Zoom controls thing? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second here. But yeah, so and for those of you who are audio only, just to read through it again, the first sentence is, I believe, the one she copied and pasted, because by itself, because it starts with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark. It says, "What are you required to do when given a direct order?" And then under that, it's like, direct order question mark return lowercase f from your supervisor not droning cartons return capital O on the working floor doing your job hours period. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have found it, the world's shittiest haiku. What are you required to do when given a direct order from your supervisor not droning cartons on the working floor doing your job hours?
I'm not counting any of those because we were talking about the title. So
yes.
Going forward.
So anyway, I want to share one more thing before we move on. I'm gonna hop onto like Zazzle or Cafe Press or Redbubble or something, and I am going to. Where is it? I keep forgetting where the thing is. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to make T-shirts that I am only going to advertise. I'm only going to advertise and sell here on the FuMPCast. I'm not going to mention it anywhere else in public. Only people listening to the FuMPCast will know about this shirt and be able to get this shirt. I love droning cartons.
That is fantastic, and I want one immediately.
Yes, I will. During the interview, I will try to get it set up. If I can get it set up by the end of the show and give people a link, I will. And for the record, other than the rectangle around the center image, which I added with Photoshop, the rest of that was entirely drawn on the clock. So
nice.
So you too. I mean, we have a lot of artists out here. We have Kendra, we have Angel, we have you, we have lots of other people who love to draw and express themselves. So if you want to wear a shirt that expresses your love for creating art, you can get your own I Love Droning Cartons t-shirt sometime soon.
I'm counting that one, so.
Yes. So yeah. So that was that. Let me stop sharing that thing.
That was something.
I walked out of that meeting. Oh, and also I should say the first time when we, because that was the 5th question in the droning cartons question, I actually looked over at the union rep and she kind of looked back at me with just a little bit of a look of, are you going to say something?
Now, I have a question for you.
Now, yes.
Are you going to wear that shirt to work?
Short answer, yes, but I'm trying to decide. Do I wear it just whenever, or do I wait until I know for sure I've found another job that I'm moving on to and then wear it so that when, if, and I'm only going to wear it on a day when I know that mascara will most likely be my supervisor, which would be either a Sunday or a Monday. Mm-hmm. Oh, also, I've only told one person at work about the droning cartons thing. My friend who started the same day as me.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just picture in my mind. I show up for the morning meeting wearing that shirt, and he starts laughing hysterically. Nobody else will know what he's laughing at. They'll see my shirt. They'll not know what that means. And then when Mascara sees my shirt, whether or not she remembers what that means, or even acknowledges the fact that any of the words that she wrote in that I inquiry. I mean, think about that. This is a form at a government facility that's being kept on record of events that happened here. And that's what she wrote.
Your manager writes at a kindergarten level. You realize that, don't you?
Yes. And if I'm being generous, maybe they did it as text-to-speech, and there was autocorrect involved. But even so, go back and check your work.
Well, how do you mispronounce
the
cartoons so badly that it comes up as cartons?
You've never been to Glendale, have you?
Well, this is in Bell. This is over near.
Oh, okay.
This is over near the Citadel outlet. So
does
it might be
Mascara have an accent of any
okay.
kind?
Yeah, I could say. Also, Mascara is one of the people at work, and I'm not dissing anyone who does this because it's their choice and their health. She wears like a mask, like a health mask, a COVID type mask, like every day, all the time. I don't think I've ever seen the bottom half of her face ever. So and a lot,
mask
a lot of
plus accent, I can understand if she did text to speech, getting this.
But even with those, check your work and make sure the words are correct on your government form. That you're accusing somebody of doing the two most important words in the whole thing, and they're wrong. So I just want to. I was just waiting for her to say to me, the other day. I had to work with her again on Sunday and Monday, and the only thing she said to me was telling me where I was assigned, and that I was like, okay, and then I went and did it. So I didn't have to deal with her crap. But I was just so waiting for her to like preemptively say to me, don't be drawing any cartoons, and I'll be like, yes, I'll be sure to not drone any cartons. And then if she was like, what? I'd like pull out that form and be like, here, this whole thing was about droning cartons. That's what you wrote, right? That's what's on the form. Drawing and cartoons were not mentioned at all in this entire thing that you filled out to punish me with.
You know what's really funny? You work in a facility where there are cartons filled with stuff. And I could see people like, what was Luke doing with those cartons? Like, do we have drones in this facility? Like, I could see somebody reading this and just being absolutely baffled by it. Because it almost makes sense in context.
And the other greatest cosmic irony is, what is the United States Postal Service all about? Getting communication to people. It's literally what it was founded on. They used to ride horses to make sure, here's some important words that need to be delivered to you, because communication accurately and it's important. God damn it. Anyway.
So now 5 of us are going to show up at MarsCon with that T-shirt, and everyone else is going to be so confused.
so for how mad I was, following that meeting, I just every so often in my mind I would just think the words, droning cartons, and I would smile and I would laugh to myself. It's like thank you, Mascara, for giving me the most wonderful gift of knowing. Remember the scene from Back to the Future 3 at the end when Buford Tannen is calling Marty out for the big showdown or whatever at the end, and Marty's in the bar, and Marty just kind of comes to this realization. He's an asshole. I don't care what he thinks. It's like, oh yeah. You're an idiot. Even giving you a certain number of well, this was a factor and this was a factor, you still had to check your work. Just Okay, what else could I tell you about this week that wasn't that? Because that was huge. I saw Masters of the Universe twice. It was awesome. Please go see it. I'm annoyed that it's being beaten by Scary Movie 6.
I saw it. It was good. I saw it.
Yeah,
I was alone in the theater, but I saw it.
That's sad. I mean, think about like Transformers. I mean, heck, even G.I. Joe. There's all these other things that were made into big movies, and like, why is nobody showing up for this one? Is it just Jared Leto? Is that it? Because people either genuinely dislike Jared Leto because of the stuff he did in the past, or it's people who know that like Jared Leto is a meme to like gas up like, oh yeah, this great movie with Jared Leto and we're all going to go see it, and then don't go see it. So
maybe here's the thing about Jared Leto. I'm not particularly a fan of the guy, but if I didn't hear ahead of time that he played Skeletor, I never would have guessed.
Exactly. They could have just taken his name off the project completely. I mean,
it wasn't even that I saw it in the credits. It was like was it a podcast or some post on Facebook? I think about it where I was like, oh, I didn't realize he played Skeletor. I'm like, all right, whatever, Yeah.
So I mean, that's the other thing is as far as like, I mean, I could Google this and probably find out, but I'm curious, was he actually there in costume? Like I realized the head and the face was all, CG and shit, and probably motion capture. But was he actually physically there in the costume, or was it like
was he just doing voiceover? I don't know.
Yeah, doing all the physical acting, and he was just doing the voiceover. Because if there was a stand-in doing the physical acting, then that guy deserves to be listed too. You know, so because he was the one actually there putting in the effort. Anyway, and there's some cool surprises at the end of the movie during the mid-credits scenes. So, which make me psyched, and I very, very much hope there's a sequel. I just kind of view it like, remember back in the day when if a movie came out, even if it was only halfway decent making money, you'd still get a sequel because that's what Hollywood did. It was an industry that made movies.
Yeah.
And now if anything doesn't make $1 billion, it's like, oh, well, then it's a failure. It's like...
Yeah, this one apparently, it cost $200 million to make, and then you're estimating another $200 million for marketing, and they are nowhere near making $400 million right now. So it's being written off as a huge flop. But apparently the reason this movie exists at all is because Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, wanted it to exist. So he just kind of willed it into existence. Now, because he has money to burn, he may just will a sequel into existence because he wants it to happen. So
I hope so, because it's like, oh, what? The numbers you just said, like a total of what, 400 billion? Okay, Bezos will be like, okay, wait like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll sell you. And boom, we got a sequel happening.
Oh, do I have to sell 0.1% of my stocks to make another movie? Okay, fine, I will do it.
If he sold 0.1% of his stocks, he could make a dozen movies.
Yeah, probably.
With that. And the other thing which Devo was there for, last night I did my first Patreon exclusive concert.
I was there for that.
Which went, eh.
Now, Luke, streaming a concert is hard. And the first time you do it, it's always a clusterfuck. Like, there is always shit that you didn't foresee that goes wrong. And it's not until, like, the third or fourth time when you'll be able to do it without a hitch. So...
Well, I just remember when we did MarsCon during 2021 because people, they canceled it because people were still afraid about COVID, and we did it from home. And I set up like with my previous mixing board. I had like mics and stuff and set up, and I had the music going in. It's like I managed to figure out a way for all of us here in Burbank to perform, and things actually went well for at least the first 2 days. I know we had problems on day 3, but so I was just, stupid me for thinking that just having a separate phone unattached to everything else, recording through Zoom, that the microphone would pick up all the sounds in the room and not just selectively, some sounds but not other sounds.
Yeah, you really need to find a way to get original sound for musicians on because almost all the music was filtered out.
Yeah, because when I hit that original sound for musicians button on the phone, it just muted literally everything. You couldn't hear anything from me at all.
Yeah,
so
you know what was interesting is when you stopped using the microphone and then just performed without it, it didn't sound any different.
Weird.
So I don't know, were you just using your input on like the phone input, or did you have a mic plugged into the phone?
I had the karaoke machine I bought yesterday has two microphones, like two wireless mics that come with it, and then I had it has an aux input, so I had my laptop plugged into the speaker so that the music was coming through the speaker and my voice was coming through the speaker.
Okay.
And I was trying to get them loud enough so that the phone could hear it, but not so loud that my neighbors would complain.
Right.
So it was kind of trying to balance that on top of, everything else. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out probably a completely different thing for next time.
I think that the karaoke setup sounds fine, but I think you need to use one of your laptops for Zoom for the audio. And you'll probably need. No, you could just use your built-in mic. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I did some interesting things during the show that I had never done before on stage. And if anyone wants to see it, if you join my Patreon for $1, I posted on a separate camera, my regular video camera. I videotaped the whole thing. It's a whole 2-hour show, and you can go watch it there. Watch the madness unfold. So anyway, let's get out of Luke land and get to you and Jeff. So what have you been up to lately?
Let me first ask you.
Sure.
Oops, go ahead.
Good.
What exactly were you doing that you don't normally do on stage? That raises an eyebrow.
There is a song I did a bunch of years ago, which is currently, and I think still, either on Bandcamp or on Spotify. No, it's on Bandcamp. My most popular song on Bandcamp is a song I did with a guy named Doug Walker, who's known online as the Nostalgia Critic. And because he did these series of reviews of the Jurassic Park movies, and he wanted me to be in it, basically being the voice of the T-Rex. And the main thing the T-Rex would say was, "I'm a motherfucking T-Rex!" Kind of like that. And then he came up with an idea for a song where he's kind of talking his regular voice, talking about, so I went down the thing the other day, like talking as if he's a T-Rex. And then when somebody annoys him, he'll be like, "And then I ate that bitch!" And then I come in on the chorus, "I'm a motherfucking T-Rex!" Bah! So I made a extended version of that where the T-Rex has some kind of rap lyrics in between his talking lyrics. And I've never performed it live on stage. I don't even have a backing track for it properly because I never assumed that me and Doug Walker would be in the same place at the same time to actually do it live with him, because it doesn't make much sense for me to do it. I don't know. Anyway, so Alex Ann, Carrie's daughter, was watching with Carrie, and earlier in the day had said that she wanted me to do that song. And Carrie had said something to the effect of, "Well, it probably won't work unless he happens to have a T-Rex puppet." And I'm like,
Does Luke have a T-Rex puppet? Gee, I wonder.
It's just the head. It's just a rubber head, but it fits on my hand. So then I took, and with zero rehearsal, I took the Luke ski puppet just to kind of, so I had something else to go back and forth between the regular guy talking, then the T-Rex, whatever. So, and then when it got to the rap parts, on the mic, I live did the, sang along with the track. So I just was singing along with the existing track just for the sake of doing a version of this that Alex Ann could see. So that was interesting.
So what you should have done at work when they were interrogating you and they said, "Why were you why were you droning cartons?" You should have said, "'Cause I'm a motherfucking T-Rex."
Exactly.
I'll have to remember that for next time.
And bring the puppet.
Yeah, so I had a follow-up about my LASIK procedure where they took the contact lens for the monovision out of my eye with a freaking tweezer. Like, I was not expecting, you coming up to my eye with a tweezer, and I'm like, yeah! But, so no problems there. And then Monday I have my pre-op, and then the procedure's Tuesday. So this time next week I probably won't have glasses. So neat. Other than that, I've just been working on my website, and as I mentioned, I saw Masters of the Universe. I've not yet seen Scream 6. I did rewatch the original Scream, and I want to rewatch Scream 2 before I go see it. But yeah, I'll probably get to that this weekend. And Luke, have you seen this?
Have I seen
this?
No, I have not.
So this is, let me pin me so that I can, I'm going to be talking anyway. So Bubbly, I think that's how you pronounce it, makes sparkling water, and, I drink seltzer. This is a special promo Super Mario Galaxy. The flavor, let me see if I can get it to show up on camera, is called Cosmic Swirl. It's a berry vanilla flavor with other natural flavors, it says. It tastes a lot like their blackberry, which I really like, but it says on the back here, no calories, no sweeteners, no gravity. So it's good. I liked it, so I just wanted to mention it because I haven't seen any Galaxy merchandise. I saw that and I was like, that's weird. So it was on sale.
Well, gravity is stupid anyway.
Gravity is very stupid. All right, so that's all that's been going on with me. Jeff, what's going on with you?
What's going on with me? I started working on Tom Petty covers.
Interesting.
I did my first performance where I did Tom Petty's Free Fallin', but I called it Free Holace and made it a song about beans. Now I'm a free Holace.
That's great. I love it.
I'm thinking of other Tom Petty. I'm thinking of doing a whole album of Tom Petty material.
That's great. Yeah, and I fully endorse this idea. A whole album of Tom Petty covers would be great.
Yeah. You should name the album Petty Vengeance.
There you go. The only other Free Fallin' parody that I'm familiar with, there was back in the 90s, I put together this compilation album from artists in the Rec Music Dimension news group called Info Highway Roadkill, and I still have my tape over there, but somebody on that did a parody called Freeloading about a guy who was still living with his parents, or was it a roommate? I forget, but it was really funny, whatever it was. But it's been years since I heard it.
On the Take Down the Grandmaster album by the Dead Alewives, the same one that has Dungeons and Dragons on it, I think they were kind of making fun of the general concept of parody, but also trying to make fun of, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did a parody called Total Recallin'.
I've heard that, yes. Okay. It's like Total Recallin'.
I'm dreaming of going to Mars where mutants drive plastic cars. It's like...
All right. So, Jeff, you posted a song. Give us a quick intro. We will give it a listen, and then we'll talk to you about it.
Oh, okay. That was my song, Tofu. And I wrote that because I had a song which I posted on the FuMP about 20 years ago called You Must Give Me Beef, which is a song about not being a vegetarian, about diving into a huge steak full of blood and antibiotics and steroids and just loving it. And occasionally I get heckled by vegetarians. So I wanted a song where I could drop the beef song and go right into tofu at the drop of a dime.
All right, here is Tofu by Jefferson DeLeone.
Why are you cooking tofu? Why not just make a steak? We'd only want you to believe meat isn't good for you.
Tofu! Tofu! Tofu comes in tofu cubes. Soy milk comes from tofu bowls. Tofu! Tofu! Roll it into little balls. Patch the nail holes in the walls. Tofu! Tofu! Tofu is like sex toy. Ooh. Substitute for meat. Give tofu to grandpa, cause you need no teeth to eat. Tofu!
Easter every year.
If you don't like my tofu song, stick tofu in your ear. Tofu! Tofu!
You tried to eat my tofu. You stuffed it in your mouth.
Now you're stuffed with tofu, but I stuffed it farther south. Tofu! Tofu! I made a hole in my tofu. It's a better girlfriend than you. Tofu!
So it had to be a big, ominous song about tofu.
Yeah,
Couldn't be
okay.
a happy.
Yeah, that was great. Can you explain that dance you were doing in the video? Were you trying to do like a YMCA spell tofu thing, or
It just kind of happened. I don't know. My future wife's nephew is always filming himself doing herky jerky dance stuff on TikTok, and he gets like 1 million views.
Of course
I don't quite
he does.
understand it. So
Of course he
I was
does.
just imitating him. I figured, hey, if that's what the kids are doing and it's going viral, maybe I could do something like that for tofu.
Well, it works. I love it. Yeah, I didn't even make the connection with "You Must Give Me Beef." That was a song I always loved, and because it's just so weird, and this one is just as weird, and the two work well together.
Thank you. Well, I have occasionally dropped the beef song because I was being heckled, and we're right into tofu.
How'd it go?
It always goes wonderfully, actually. In comedy, it's what you call a saver.
Mm-hmm.
When you've lost the audience or you pissed them off or something's not funny, you have something, an hour you could just pull out of your quiver to get things moving again. And I originally just had 1 or 2 verses, and it was a saver for when vegetarians would get really pissed off at the song. But then, the people who like the beef song are still clapping, and the vegetarians like the tofu part, so they're still clapping. So I've gone south once or twice. I managed to recover by jumping from beef to tofu.
Are they like in the same key and same chord progression and stuff, so you can just smoothly go from one to the other, or?
They sort of are. They sort of are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
with
this.
tofu, I needed to have timpanis. I needed to have a big boom, 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 boom kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, when you perform live, you just play with a guitar, right? You don't use a backing track.
It's just me. It's just me and my acoustic guitar.
Yeah. Okay. A little easier then. But yeah. So, do you actually like tofu, or was this strictly a comedy thing?
Oh boy. I like tofu when if you're substituting tofu for meat, it never really works.
Yeah.
But there are some Chinese dishes which are built around tofu, and they kind of work. But if you take a hamburger and make it a tofu burger, it just tastes like ass. It's just not very good.
There was
tofu
something
is good when it should be tofu.
Yeah, there was something my wife wanted me to try that was made out of tofu. And I didn't understand the reasoning behind it. It wasn't even substituting meat. It would have been like taco shells or something. Let me see if I can find the conversation. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, well. Yeah, it was something weird like that, and I was like, why? What's the point? We have perfectly good taco shells,
And tofu is like this cubic white spongy thing. It doesn't even look like food. It's like, what are you supposed to do with it? Somebody hands it to you. It's like, what's this?
Yeah.
What
is it anyway? I
don't
even know what it is. Is it made out of beans or?
It's made out of soybeans, but how you get from a little green bean to a cube of white foam? I don't know how it's made.
I don't either, but okay. So what else is going on with you?
What else is going on with me? I'm a scientist. I work in a lab, and I'm finding new ways to haze my colleagues. There's a lot of when scientists start getting into the locker room snapping towels at each other kind of mentality, it goes downhill very, very fast. So I was kind of proud of myself because I was working on the electron microscope the other day, And some guy who's kind of annoying me comes in and goes, "Oh, so Jeff, what are you looking at?" I go, "Oh, I'm looking for your pecker. I think I have to go to a higher magnification." And somebody who was listening in told him he should go to Human Resources.
Of course.
So, but I don't think he did.
We'll have to get you on the show with what's his name? Dan. Oh, what's his name? He's another scientist.
Dan Hart?
Warren? Dan Warren, I want to say. I think it's Dan Warren.
Dr. Pinkerton?
Yeah, Dan Warren. I'm pretty sure that's him. He's a scientist. I forget what field he's in.
Huh.
But I think he was, because we got talking about insect genitalia and like the device that expels the insect's genitals so you can sex them when you're studying them. Yeah, it's Dan Warren. So we'll have to get the two of you guys on the show together at some point and let you guys just nerd out.
What is this thing called? This thing that expels genitalia and insects.
That's the thing. We were talking about that because I don't think it has a proper name, and I told them that they should just call it a fluffer.
That would work.
Because it literally injects air into something and then expels the genitals so that they can see.
God, I'd love to see like a close-up motion picture of this happening.
I'm sure it's on YouTube, but I don't want to be Googling.
Wouldn't it be great to project that onto a screen behind you when you perform?
Yeah, go for it.
It's like something the Butthole Surfers would do.
It is, totally.
Yeah. The first time I saw them, they were showing a sex change on a giant screen behind them.
Really?
And a lot of people were just looking down and couldn't even look up.
I can imagine, yeah.
It was only they would think of that.
I've seen a 3D animation of that procedure, and I do not want to see a actual procedure. So, peeling a banana comes to mind, if anyone's curious. All right. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Anything I would like to plug? Let's see. On the 25th, at a place called the Venturero Coffee House in scenic San Pedro here, I have a monthly MC gig for the longest-running comedy series in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
It's been going on for 25 years. It's called the Cindy Liebman Comedy Hour. I just got a gig as sort of their full-time monthly MC, which is an awful lot of fun.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So I do about a 15-minute set. I introduce everybody.
Have you performed Tofu yet?
Not at this venue.
Okay.
Not at this venue.
There's still time.
When I play like crunchy hippie kind of gigs, that's usually when I pull out the tofu thing. Okay. I can always pick on somebody in the audience, who looks like a vegetarian or something like that. So,
all right, cool. All right, well, thank you for joining us. You're welcome to stick around if you want. Tom. We have a pre-recorded interview with Spaff coming up and some news and stuff. So are you going to stick around or are you taking off?
I'm going to stick around.
All right. Now let's do some news.
Okay.
Promo.
This
forgot the promo.
Is the FuMP.
I'd rather eat a porterhouse than greens. Yes, I would. I doubt I should. But beef tastes good.
SAT's got a hold on me. I got a whole lot I don't wanna. I wanna put an end to DST. I got a whole lot I don't wanna. I'll just stay in bed where I'll sleep just like the dead till the clocks bring back ahead. Cause I'm seasonally affected. I call you a fascist, but you don't know what that is.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Go out, touch down, personal bias.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, a new Henry Phillips special has emerged. This was recorded about a decade ago at the Lyric Theater in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, it never found a home, so I guess he was never able to get distribution for it. But now you can watch it for free on the Blonde Medicine YouTube channel. The title of the special is Neither Here Nor There, so give that a look. It's an hour-long, good Henry Phillips stuff. Bill Mumy will be appearing on CBS Sunday Morning this Sunday, June 14th. Check your local listings. It doesn't say what he will be doing, but the thumbnail shows him with a guitar, so maybe he'll be playing a song or two. That's CBS Sunday Morning this coming Sunday, June 14th. And coming up on Saturday the 13th is a live stream concert called Villains in the Feed, featuring Schaffer the Dark Lord and MC Lars, with special guest opener MC Snacks. They will be doing, besides their live performances, they will be doing commentary on their favorite villains. Lars will be discussing characters from various Poe stories, and Schaffer will do a deep dive into Darth Vader. This is happening Saturday, June 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Tickets are available at bit.ly/villainsinthefeed. And they have different ticket prices for different perks, depending on what you want to get. I believe just watching the show is $5, and it goes up to like $3,000 or something like that. You get a custom song, I believe, at that point. And Psychostick posted a new music video recently for their song Dogs Like Socks that is all puppets. So they have a new puppet video for that song on their channel. All right. You guys got anything before tour dates?
Nope.
All right. Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. The last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. And this coming Monday, June 15th, this musical guest will be Sulu. And on Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. On the 12th in Metairie, Louisiana, the Consortium of Genius. On the 12th in Long Island City, New York, David W. Jacobson. On the 12th in San Juan Bautista, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 13th in Babylon, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. The 19th through 21st in Wichita, Kansas, Mikey Mason. On the 20th in Ballston Spa, New York, Drew Jacobs. On the 20th in Governor's Island, New York, David W. Jacobson. On the 20th in Livermore, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 21st in Hayward, California, Lauren Mayer. All right. Second song of the week is the new one by Robert Lund and Spaff, followed by an interview with Spaff. Here is Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus, your silhouette is colossal. Out of all of the fossils, I dig you the most. Oh, you're a large one, 5 tons of reptile roaming from western Wyoming to the Portuguese coast. Though your method to attract mates, boy, makes your species seem unstable, and your walnut brain is thoughtless who you hurt. If you bring your set of bad plates, you'll be welcome at my table for some ferns and moss with gravel for dessert. Stegosaurus, oh, they may call you a villain, a cold-blooded reptilian. I know how you feel, but critics, oh critics, well, they don't know what you're risking. Some starvings are risking might just make you a meal. Is your head a mess with the endless stress? The land breaks up or you'll meet T-Rex, or the asteroid will wipe us out today. Despite your petrifying fears, those events are 80 million years away. Stegosaurus, your Thagomizer is classic. Let's hit the Jurassic pub for a drink, then leave a footprint to fuel my paleo obsession. You better leave a large collection. Natural selection. We better make a deep impression before we're extinct.
I am here with Spaff. How you doing, Spaff?
Good. How are you, Devo?
Good. So tell us about the Stegosaurus, one of my favorite critters from when I was a kid.
Yeah, mine too. That's where how this came about. I've been coming up with song parody ideas since the 1900s, and I was looking
back in my day.
Seriously, the 1900s. I found a list the other day of a bunch of ideas that I had long ago, and I started looking through this long list of ideas, and most of them were stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
as they are. You're like, I find old ideas too, and I'm like, why did I ever think that was a workable idea? It just no.
In fairness, some of my new ideas are pretty stupid too. But.
Yeah, me too. But those I can generally just disregard. I'm like, oh, that's an idea. That's a dumb idea. I'm not going to do that. I'll just forget about that one.
You never know what happens when you write them down, though. So you come back. I found this list, and one of them was, hey, let's see if we can relate to a dinosaur here. And I thought Stegosaurus was a pretty good match for Desperado. So I kept that on my list and busted that out the other day. I was visiting my brother who has a 4-year-old, and his 4-year-old is very, very into dinosaurs right now. Mm-hmm. And I remember that too, all through grade school. So I thought, all right, let's give this a try. I'm 20 years older, and I can even more relate with dinosaurs now than I could back then. So I sent the idea before I wrote it up. I sent the idea to Robert Lund, and I said, "Hey, what would you think about this?" And he got back to me saying, "Well, let me see if I can do the piano on this." And then he came back a while later and said, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." So I wrote it up, and it's great having a guy like him to work with. And I kind of feel bad that he's not on this call, and that's my fault. We scheduled a time that all three of us could be together, and I blew it. So
yeah, I was on with Robert, and we were both texting Spaff, like, Spaff, where are you? And then Robert and I had a nice chat, not about this song, but we talked about other things. And I did get him to watch the Action Park documentary, so that's fun.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about that, the Class Action Park.
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet because it's on HBO Max, and I don't have HBO Max, so I'll have to figure out another way to see it, and I will.
Use Robert's login.
Yes, somebody.
There's only like 4 HBO Max logins in the country, and everybody just shares them. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Send me the list of 4, and I'll see which one of them will work in my area. But you're in it, I guess, huh?
No, I'm not in it. I went to Action Park when it was Action Park in its prime. It was fun. It was insane, but it was fun.
All right, I was hoping that you would be on the screen talking about your experience.
No, sadly no. I didn't really have any like incredible holy crap experiences at Action Park. I mean, I did go on the big giant water slide that they talk about in the documentary that was too steep. It was like dangerously too steep. I did go on that one. I went on the tube slide. They also had a rope swing into that same pool of water that was made up of melting snow and was like 37 degrees or something like that. And they don't warn you about that. So you go through this tube slide. It throws you out the side of a cliff 10 feet above the water. And then you land in 37-degree water. That's a shock to the system.
Yeah, that is jarring. That's
I did go on the mountain slide thing that they used to advertise on TV with the jump at the end. I never got up the confidence to do the jump. I was always too scared because I'd watched people get hurt going over that jump, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's kind of crazy. So.
Amazing that existed.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
When you're 14, you feel like you're invincible. You're like, hell yeah, let's do it.
You love that stuff. Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're still with us.
So am I.
As Robert said. But yeah, okay. So thank you to Robert for doing this song, because once again, he did the music perfectly and his vocals turned out great, and I'm just really happy with this one. And I've been urged a lot, coincidentally, just in the last couple of weeks, that I should make videos for some of these songs, and I'm way behind the curve on that, way behind. So I'm like, all right, I just gotta try this. And so for those of you, well, you just played the video, right? So
I did, yes. So
yeah, I was gonna say, you didn't just play the song this time, you actually played the video. So you got to see my first attempt at a music video, and there you go. It was fun to do. It took me a whole lot longer than I expected, but I think it turned out pretty good, and it makes me want to do more and better ones now. So that's what's happening.
Yep, I'm trying to do more videos myself, but I'm just doing shorts of me performing, like in my recording area, and just putting those up with maybe some other little graphics here and there. But I'm keeping them simple for now because I want to try to do a lot of them.
It's amazing what a time drain they can turn into.
Videos take a lot of time and a lot of work to do them right.
And adding the lyrics to this one, I thought that would be the easy part.
No, that is a tedious chore of
I think that took longer than the images, actually. So anyway,
so I wanted to mention, you mentioned a couple facts about T-Rex in your description and in the lyrics, that this is something I only learned, I don't want to say recently, but it was, closer to now than when I was a kid, that T-Rex is closer to us than to the Stegosaurus. Like the difference in time between when the Stegosaurus died out and the T-Rex came along, it says 80 million years in your thing, and the T-Rex was only 66 million years ago. Now, actually, was it 66? Because when I was a kid, I thought it was 64, and then at some point it changed to 65, and now they're saying 66. Is the date actually changing? Like, do they getting more data about when it happened, or am I just misremembering the date?
The number I keep seeing is 66.
Okay.
But isn't it amazing that we end up rounding to the next million years, or
when
the
you're
next
doing,
10 million
carbon
years?
dating or however they're doing it? I'm sure they have something better than carbon dating, but like however they're doing it, when you get that far into the past, a 0.01 margin of error is hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, it's amazing when you consider just that humans have only been around for, in the thousands of years.
Like modern humans, I think, are only like 150 to 200,000 years old, which is a sliver of time compared to the dinosaurs.
Really, that's a rounding error.
Yeah.
We are a rounding error when it comes to the dinosaurs.
Which is why I believe Silurians are possible, because...
Okay.
Yeah, if you take that last 100,000 years and evolve one dinosaur into an intelligent species that creates a technologically advanced civilization comparable to our own, and then an asteroid comes and obliterates it, 65 million years later, there ain't gonna be nothing left.
Hey,
So the Silurians are a possibility. Mark my words.
I cannot refute it. So, but yeah, you're right. When I was a kid, and even up until I started writing this song, I just kind of clump all of the popular dinosaurs together. And when I was a kid playing with my toys, T-Rex would attack the Stegosaurus. Yeah, that's just what you do, right?
Right. Yeah. I had all those too, like the little dinosaur figurines, and I had a little play set with a cave and stuff. And yeah, I always put the T-Rex up against the Stegosaurus. I had no idea about
I didn't
timelines
either.
and
I
stuff.
no idea that those two creatures were 80 million years apart.
The other thing I learned fairly recently was the name of the spiny tail of the Stegosaurus. It's called a thagomizer.
Yes.
And that was, who coined that phrase? I want to say it was like a comics author.
I can tell you because
it was Gary Larson from the Far Side.
Yeah, there's a Far Side panel, and maybe you can find it and throw it up on the screen right now.
Sure, yeah. I just Googled really quick and I found it, and it's I'll put it up on the screen, but it's a caveman giving a presentation to other cavemen, and he says, and now this end is called the thagomizer after the late Thag Simmons.
Yes. And I did not know this, but that is now the accepted, universally acknowledged term for the spiky tail, is the thagomizer. They don't put it in
because they didn't have a
quotes.
name, and they were like, well, that's as good as anything, so they started using it.
That's one of my favorite pieces of dinosaur trivia of all, is that Gary Larson in the Far Side coined the term thagomizer, and now it's in common use. They don't capitalize it. They don't put it in quotes. They don't, italicize it like it's a joke. It's just the name of the spiky tail. So.
Yeah, Gary Larson was also immortalized as a species of some subatomic creature. I forget what, like a mite or like a dust mite or something like that. Like not subatomic, some microscopic is the word I meant. And it's called something Gary Larson is the scientific name of it.
I love it. Talk about a guy who's left a mark in not just pop culture, but in science too. He's immortalized.
Yeah, I love it. 'Cause I love Gary Larson's work.
Yeah,
I was always a big fan of the Far Side.
Far Side's great. My favorites have always been the Far Side and Calvin and Hobbes.
Yep, my wife was a huge Calvin and Hobbes fan and has like the book of the entire collection and stuff.
Yeah.
So. We've got
Such
all those.
good stuff.
I was into that stuff and Bloom County. I'm a big Bloom County fan.
I used to draw Bill the Cat all the time, and I'd be sitting in class in school bored, and I would sketch out Bill the Cat saying "ack."
Yep, me too. All right, so do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Let's see. As always, this. The next video I'm going to work on is a few months ago, in honor of Dr. Demento's retirement. Robert and I did a song called Grateful Dead Puppies, which is basically just a list of a whole bunch of songs from the Dr. Demento show that I listened to in the years that Dr. Demento really sank into my brain and inspired me. And since it's a list song, that really lends itself to a slideshow type of video, right? I don't have to have full animation. I can just come up with. So I'm going to work on that. That's going to be my next video.
All right, cool. Looking forward to that.
So watch for that.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks for making the time again, and sorry for the difficulties.
No worries. We will catch you next time.
Okay. See you, Devo.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Before we do feedback, I just want to mention I forgot to put the Gary Larson cartoon up on the screens. If you just Google Thagomizer, you'll find it. It'll come right up. All right. Feedback. H3Volution wrote, I recently began reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, thanks in part to Mikey Mason's song about everyone's favorite dungeon crawling cat, Princess Donut, and there is a recurring phrase throughout the series that ties in perfectly with Luke's story about leaving work with the intent of not returning and then returning anyway and deciding to go through with filing the grievance. The phrase in question is, "You will not break me, I will break you." Luke, as much as I would love to see the story play out of you taking down a corrupt superior, I truly hope you find anything better. And
thank you.
Wacky Ben wrote, Luke, once more, whenever I get my comic book business off the ground, you always have a job there where you can work out of state. Speaking of which, if you want, I can always suggest self-publishing, which I did. If anyone wants a copy of my book, then message me, shameless plug. One thing I'm still trying to work on is selling my drawings that are all digital now, so that's about the only suggestion I can make at the moment. Thank you, Ben. And in all seriousness, best of luck with the comic book business because you're getting into a cutthroat industry. And
for who could ever learn to love a beast?
Father Beast wrote, Luke, it really bothers me the use at the PO, or is it just the one superior, or rather misuse of the phrase gainfully employed. I mean, Jen must
wait, hold on. Just to explain to Jefferson here, at the post office, in all of their forms, they use the term gainfully employed to mean, well, when you're on the job, if you've, whatever the main thing you're working on, is done or paused or whatever, like find something else to do, like keep yourself busy, like, oh, go fold some boxes, go do this and that. Keep yourself busy because this is the time you're being paid to work there. So stay busy at work, find something to do. So for that thing, they refer to that as remain gainfully employed.
Which is not what that phrase means.
Which is not what that phrase means, and it was confusing me for the longest time until I figured out, wait, it's like Princess Bride, like, you keep using that phrase. I don't think it means what you think it means, right. So anyway, continue on with Father Beast.
So he says, I mean, Genma Sautaume was not gainfully employed, but he was staying busy, obviously. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. If I were in that situation, I would look for ways to use the gainfully employed expression in its proper use as much as I could think of at work, preferably in front of the supervisor that uses it the wrong way. Okay, that's one of 3 comments from Father Beast.
Okay.
At my work, we used to deliver to this one customer who was kind of a terrible person. Word was that he hired illegals because he didn't have to pay them or provide benefits or pay them on time and would otherwise abuse them. Also, when his business shared a building with another, he would go over the dividing wall at night and take stuff. The other business in the building ended up moving. Anyway, I had to deliver there one time, and I was required to pick up cash because his credit was no good. I accidentally left the envelope with the cash on his filing cabinet and had to come back for it after I realized. He was mad when he realized that, since he could have swiped it. Another time, they told me I could get a check, but told me not to unload until I had the check in hand. When I arrived, he said to start unloading while he got the check and disappeared into the office for 20 minutes. I told the employees I would not unload yet. When this guy came out and realized I had not done what he said, he called me all sorts of names and cussed me out thoroughly for about 10 minutes. Now, after taking abuse like that, my instinct would be to avoid this person, but I found a way around that. Nowadays, we don't deliver to him. He comes to the warehouse and picks up. And whenever he comes around, I try and swing by and say, hey, remember that time when I left a big pile of cash on your filing cabinet and you didn't take it? Good times, huh? Because I'm sure he's still mad about that. Now he avoids me whenever I come around. All right, that was comment 2 of 3.
That's an amazing story. And I have a story about mascara that I could tell, which is kind of one of those things like, hey, remember when blah, 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 that I would love to say in front of the other coworkers about something she once said to me. And I don't know. Just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to say it here, but I'll probably tell you, Devo, after the show's over.
Okay.
And you can tell me whether or not you think it's safe to share that story or not.
All right. Father Beast also said, what I'm saying here, Luke, is don't let your job become something you dread. The work itself is fine, and you are good at it, so take pleasure in that. Some supervisors take pleasure in making the job a repulsive place for the workers. Don't let them succeed. You are a parody master. Find a way to turn it around. Come on. Gilligan needs his Netflix. Props for the callback, Father Beast.
Yes.
And over on YouTube, A-Log!
Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, once more, I feel nothing but sympathy toward Luke when it comes to his plight at work. Reminds me of the one base soup who shall remain nameless getting on my case about me missing things on the car and going apoplectic whenever I tried to correct him or explain. This person thinks all I'm saying are excuses. As for Devo thinking of getting Lasik, I'm not sure about that. Kind of gets rid of the classic look. Then again, Weird Al got Lasik, and his career didn't falter in any way, so what do I know? I just think wearing glasses is cool. I've never had a problem with glasses. It's just that lighting them on a movie set is difficult because of reflections and stuff, and
yes.
I want to remove this variable from the equation of me getting cast in things. So... all right, that's all the feedback we got. So...
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. And I have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Steve Goody. And Tuesday's song is by Toby Danger. And this week's Spotify playlist topic is the World Cup, and a big shout out to everyone in the official Dr. Demento Facebook group who gave me song suggestions for there. They were able to help me fill out the thing with songs that are mostly soccer, possibly World Cup related. So it's a good playlist. All right. So Spaff is at spaff.com. Jeff, plug yourself again.
Plug myself again. My name is Jefferson DeLeone. I play out in comedy and music venues all over Southern California. I have a new song on the FuMP called Tofu, which is about tofu.
I love the way you say tofu in the song. That's so great.
Tofu.
All right.
Go
ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I went to the Zazzle website, Zazzle.com, and I was able to set up and order a shirt for myself. And when I went to try to share that link, Devo said it's coming up as private, so I need to set up a store, which I'm in the process of doing right now. So, I'm going to keep working on it tonight so that if you go to Zazzle.com, Zazzle.com, and search for either, my store name is going to be Luke_ski, because they didn't allow spaces. And the name of the design of the T-shirt will be, of course, Devo, be ready for it. The design of the T-shirt is going to be called Droning Cartons. So that'll be up shortly. So I'll mention that in the Funny Music News next week, in case anybody wants to get their shirt. So yeah.
All right.
Are you ever gonna share the droning carton that got you in trouble?
The specific thing I happen to be working on is going to be something I'm going to share on my Patreon to my Patreon followers. Okay. Probably not right away because it's basically I'm in the middle of kind of I did one drawing and then I thought of a follow-up drawing to make it a comic strip, and then I thought of even more to go after it. So now it's kind of becoming a multi-page comic thing that I'm going to share to my Patreon followers for next month's behind the scenes of my cartooning and artwork thing. So I will make that specific thing. The ironic part is the actual drawing I was working on is one of the most boring drawings of the whole sequence. It's basically kind of, it would take too long to explain. It was basically a series of short setup images leading to something funnier that will happen later. What was that?
We're being raided by by Mary Amber. Hi, Mary. You raided us just as we were about to end the show.
Raid us of what? Are they trying to take all of our cartons?
Yes.
Well, we better start droning cartons and get them away from here so she can't take our cartons away.
The Sorks have arrived. I always miss Mary's live stream because like she's in Australia, so the times are weird, and I always forget about it and miss her. I'll have to find out when she's streaming next. Wow, there's a lot of people. Hi. Wait, I have cartons. Yeah, it's a long story that
Whee!
All right, so we have to end the show. We don't have anything else to talk about other than being raided.
Yes.
So, if Mary, if you have another channel you want to raid, feel free, because we have to do this now. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
And I'm Luke Ski, and look, there's Jefferson who wants tofu!
I'm Jefferson DeLeone, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Droning cartons, just what in the hell heck? You can learn to use spell check, you stupid bitch.